Hey, okay, so I want to share with you more details about how I got the job and everything about it. So, first off, let me tell you kind of how it began. I was sitting in my office on the couch, and my husband came down and he's like, "Hey, I think maybe it's time that you get a job." And I was, because I've been putting so much time into my YouTube channel, right? But there are some financial goals that we really want to reach, and there's like time is an issue. So we were thinking, okay, well, he already has a job, so then that would be me that would need to find a job. And I didn't want to do, I mean, I have my degree, I have a bachelor's degree, and so I didn't want to do like the Walmart, Target, gas station. Like, that is not what I want to do. Like, long term, right? And so I was thinking, gosh, like, what could I do? Or also not staying on my feet all day. And dental assisting came to mind. And so I typed in dental assisting, and I was on Indeed.com actually. And I'm like, what's out there? Like, how much do they pay? What's the schedule look like? So I was just kind of glossing, and I found a dental assistant position that was close to where I lived. And I thought, gosh, this would be really cool. But there was a hiccup because in the job description, it said must have 2 years minimum, like required. You already needed to have a job as a dental assistant. And I didn't. Like, I don't have 2 years experience. And I was like, gosh, well, I'm going to be not a candidate. It's not going to work out. Like, it says, like, minimum in all caps. So as in they're not budging. Like, this is a finite, like, for sure thing. I'm like, dang it, because it would be really convenient if it worked out, because it's really close to my house. It's like, a few minutes. And so I was like, well, I could always call them. And so I literally did that. I picked up my cell phone and called him right then and there as I'm staring at the computer screen with the job description. And I'm like, hey, I saw that you guys, or no, how did I phrase that? I said something like, hey, I wanted to see if you guys were hiring. And to be honest, I knew they were actually kind of hiring because I was staring at their job description. But it just sounds nicer when you're coming at it at a slow angle, like, hey, I just wanted to see, like, it just makes everything more flowy. Like, it just sounds better, right? So I'm like, hey, I just wanted to see if you guys were hiring and for any like dental assistant positions. And so we started talking, and the person that had picked up was the person in charge of hiring. And so I told her a little bit about myself, and I told her, hey, I don't really have dental assisting experience. The time you want, the 2 years, but I've done a different position where I was at the front desk and had to greet a lot of visitors to the company I was working at, and I was based in DC. And so I felt like some of the things could apply and like transfer over to the job. And so she said, hey, would you be able to come in for an interview? And I said, sure. When? And she's like, what about in 3 hours? And I'm like, absolutely. I was in a mad rush to take a shower, to like make my resume all like fabulous and like spruce it up and make sure like it was like accurate, and making it like quadruple checking every word. I'm not a person that puts fluff on the resume. Like, it is literally legit. My resume is my resume. It may not be much, but it is all mine. And so I had to make sure that everything was like great. And then I went in for the interview, and it went so good. I really connected with the dental office, and I connected with the dentist. Fast forward, and they were gonna let me know in a couple days because they still had to interview some people. And they said, we'll let you know. And then a few days later, I get a call back, and they want me to come in for a half day, like, job shadow section of the job interview process. And I said, sure. And so we figured out on a day and a time. And so I come in for the 4 hours, and I really liked everything at the office. Like, not only did the office look pretty, and I mean, that's like shallow stuff, right? Like, but it looked beautiful. It was a great environment, but the people were really what counted. And the people were so nice. I loved interacting with them. Very friendly. I just like said a prayer that I'd be able to get the job if it be right. And then a few days later, like they had said that they were going to discuss it over the weekend and they'd let me know on a Monday. And I was like, I hope they call me back. And they did. They called me and I got the job. And it was so crazy because it happened so fast. From the point that I turned on the laptop to getting an interview was like 6 hours by the time I was done with the interview. From when I opened the laptop to even look for dental assistant jobs to then getting an interview same day and walking out of the dental office and being like, wow, that could really work out. I could see myself there. So that was just like a whirlwind for sure. And now I'm working on the team and I totally love it. And I'm like, man, like Heavenly Father does bless us with things that we need at the time that we need them. And so now we can work on the financial goals that we have, my husband and I. But what I really love also about this whole thing is that it's not a Monday to Friday job, it is a Monday to Thursday job. So every weekend I get a 3-day weekend. There is no working on Friday. And I just feel like freaking awesome. Cause like what job can you do like that with, right? So if you live in a different city, a different state, you can still find dental assisting jobs where you are, if you are indeed even looking for a job. And you might not be, but if you are, that's something to consider because that's also still very like kid friendly in the sense that you get a day off. And so you get like to rest your little head and feet while your kids are at school. You get to enjoy your whole entire Friday. Like it is Friday right now. And I'm just like, wow. Because my kids are in school. This is the first time where they're all in school all day, which is great. And so I'm like, the house is so quiet. Like I could hear a pin drop. It's so quiet. And so now I'm like, oh, I'm loving it. This is perfect. And of course, my husband's always at home because he is a remote worker. I just feel really blessed for sure. And I just thought I'd like put this out there for those of you that are looking for a job that's kid friendly, kid schedule friendly. I mean, I work past 3, but my husband's able to go pick up the kids personally. And like we drive him to and from school. So like there's no riding the bus or waiting at bus stops. Like it is, we see them in the door, make sure they get in and then like go on our way. So the point is though, that if you're looking for a job where you can like get that extra day off to spend, and maybe your kids are younger and they're at home still, you can still have that day off to be at home with them. But it works best obviously if one of the two of you, like you or your spouse, has a job where it is remote. So then when kids do get sick, and they do get sick during the school year, at least once a month on the dot, that like that person can be able to be there for when they're sick and needing some attention and need to be watched. So it's like the best of both worlds. So that is the life update. I am working at a dental office and totally loving it.